Good morning, early birds. I'm here. How are you? Are you here? What a glorious morning. Look at what is behind me. Woo! So, I know that I started getting into this and I was like, yeah, there's no sense getting into this. So, we've talked about this and I'm going now I have it a little bit more organized for a review for you and for adding new information. Okay? Now, I know that we've talked about verbs expressing action or a state of being, right? And so, let's talk about it a little bit more for how we are using it, all right? How do we use this verb? How do we use a verb that expresses action? Well, we need a subject is what we need. We need a subject. The subject is doing the action. And we can recognize the subject of a sentence because the subject of a sentence is either a noun or a pronoun. Now, we've gone over that, what nouns are and what pronouns are a lot, so much so that we even had this worksheet for you, right? So that you could determine or show yourself or show me or show your parents or show somebody, please, show somebody that you know the differences between nouns and verbs, right? Let's Because my cameraman didn't show up today, I'm going to have to do a little screen action myself. Like there, that's better. So nouns and verbs, if you remember, we already did this. So a subject is a noun or a pronoun. Now we've already talked about that. I have sheets on what nouns are and I have sheets on what pronouns are. You cannot email me at Dr. Feravich. I'm sorry, but they are trying to eliminate me entirely. And so I don't have my email address. They took my email address and I can't get a hold of the people who are supposed to be doing that to get my email address back to me. So we've talked about nouns, we've talked about pronouns, and we talked about the differences between nouns and verbs, right? Because that is this sheet, the worksheet that you guys worked on a couple of times ago when we were here. So telling the difference between nouns and verbs. And there's the rest of those if you want to take a look at it. And again, just ask me. And I'll get them there to you. How are you supposed to ask me if I don't have an email? Put your comments down below, for Pete's sake. Oh, the repeating I have to do. I told you have to repeat things 3 times for people to learn. Okay, so let's get back to our slideshow. So the subject we can tell because it's doing the action. What can do an action? Well, an action can't do an action. Run, jumped, right? An action can't do an action. Did you get that? Run, jumped. No. Unless run somebody's name. Run, jumped. No. No, you can't say that, right? So, a thing, a person, place, or thing always has to do the action, right? Yeah, I guess so, Dr. Feravich. I guess so. Yeah, test it out. See, it's a person, place, or thing. Or a pronoun, which is simply just taking the place of a noun, right? A pronoun takes the place of a noun. So it's still like a noun. It's taking the place of a noun. It's like a noun, right? So it's also can do the action because it's just like a noun. So think about it. Think about you could probably be clever. I bet you could be clever because some of you are very clever, right? So I bet you could be clever and go, I could think of something. Let me think of something that's not a noun or a pronoun that could do action. You probably could, but again, it wouldn't be used. You would be using it as a noun or a pronoun. It would have to be. It has to be. Only a person, place, or thing can do action, okay? Pretty, right? Pretty is an adjective. That can't do action. Pretty. Lunged. That wouldn't be very pretty, would it? No, it wouldn't be. Okay. Oh, I wish I could do my, wish I could put my sunglasses on, because that is like, the sun is, oh, geez, it's right in my eyes, and that sun is so bright, but we love it, but it's right in my eyes. This is preventing me from squinting, okay? And it does the action of the sentence. It performs the action. So the subject performs the action, or it's what the sentence is about. It's what the sentence is about, right? So a book may not perform an action, but a book could be very interesting, right? A book, that book was very interesting. So it's what the sentence is about. It's about the book. The book was very interesting, right? Carrie chopped down the cherry tree. Carrie is performing the action. It's what the sentence is about. the subject decides the spelling or form of the verb to use. Okay. But also so does what you're talking about decide what the right? If you're talking about the past, that's also going to decide what verb we use. All right? So the subject decides what verb we are going to use, but also tense decides what verb we are going to use. Is it the past tense? Is it the present tense? Is it the future tense? In fact, we're just going to take a quick peek at that for you. To give you an idea that we are going to be talking about these things. So we have got past tense, we've got present tense, and we have future tense. And we have examples there of each one of those. Past tense, present tense, and future tense. I think we probably have that here. Where did I put that one? Oh, here it is. There we go. The very next page. Past tense, present tense, or future tense. Okay? So, what are we saying? We are saying that it is the subject that is going to tell us how the verb, spelling, or tense, as well as when. This way. When we're talking about these things. Are we talking about them in the past? Are we talking about them in the present or in the future? So there are some action verbs I showed you and some linking verbs. Linking verbs link the subject to a characteristic. The sky is blue this morning with a hazy cast. Right? The sky looks cloudy, the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. Now, these things we all talked about, and I believe that the last time we talked about them was in maybe class 59, somewhere right around there is when we talked about them the last time. All right, so, in fact, I can go and check it out. No, I think it was... $58, but I didn't bring my glasses out here again. Let's see here. I just want to make sure that I send you to the right place for when we're talking about this. Nope, it wasn't 58. Was it 59? No, 59 we talked about money. It was 57. So in class 57, we were talking and we did the nouns worksheet. So that was the last time that we were working really steadily on nouns, verbs, and subjects, was in class 57. So go back to class 57 if you want a little bit of a background on some of those and doing the worksheets on the nouns and verbs. Let's keep moving on this. Now, we talked about this, and this is a review for you. So we did talk about this in class number, whatever I just said, 57. So I would like to take a look at now some of the exercises that help us determine subjects and predicates. Okay? So we're going to work on these sheets. Now, a subject... What we're talking about here we are talking about the complete subject and the complete verb. But we don't call it a complete verb. I remember being in school and learning that, and I'm just like, seriously, you call it a complete subject, but you have to use the big word predicate, and I can't even say complete verb. And I couldn't. I started saying complete verb, and they're like, it's predicate. It's a complete predicate. Verb, in olden times, used to be called a predicate, all right? And in order for you to start learning all the parts of speech, so nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, conjunctions, articles, possessive pronouns, all of these parts of speech, you don't have to learn. Remember, I've said that to you before. You don't have to learn all of these parts of speech, okay? But if you're going to be an English teacher, of course, you would want to know all of these things. But it's more than that. It really does help you if you decide to do anything in English, if you are a writer at all. So maybe you write speeches for people, or maybe you write a blog, or maybe you write technical manuals. In any case, if you are going to write, these kinds of concepts help you. And if you're going to pass basic grammar in elementary school, these are the things that you really want to learn. I'm trying to think right now how important it is, right, in the scheme of things, how important. I liked this stuff, so that's why I'm teaching it to you, because I liked it, and maybe you like it. I'm trying to make sure that it's important for you to learn, though, too, not just that I like to teach it. So I want it to be important for you to learn. And I think it makes it easier for you to be able to comprehend. The more that you know about your English language, the easier it is for you to comprehend. And remember, we do have to comprehend more than a story, right? We have to comprehend, like I said, it may be a manual we have to comprehend, or we have to comprehend our job specifications, our job description, right? What are we supposed to do for our job? We have to comprehend those things. And I do believe, without doing too much of a deep dive, we can better comprehend what we're reading when we understand grammar. Without going into a really deep dive in grammar, I'm going to try not to, right? You're like, this is a deep dive. You've already got complete subject and complete predicate, and I don't even know what predicate means. And look at all those fancy words over there. Predicative adjective, predicative noun. You're doing a deep dive, Dr. Feravich, and you don't even know it. You're in the deep end of the pool, Dr. Feravich, and you don't even know it. Okay, I've got it. I'll try and take it easy in the deep end of the pool. How about that? And I think that I think I can do a pretty good job on that, because, I think highly of myself. So, here's a lot of practice on this. Let's take a look at this, okay? So, we've got the very first thing I would like you to do or learn about doing is identifying the verb and then separating the sentence with the complete subject on one side of the sentence and the complete predicate on the other side. So what it takes for you to do is to identify the verb. That's what you have to do, is identify the verb. All right, so here we've got draw a line so here, well, let's look at what they say. Identify the subject and predicate in each sentence. And I crossed that out because I don't want you to do underlining. We're going to do highlighting, and we're going to make it look a little bit more visual so you can see it with your eyes, right? Every complete sentence has two parts, a subject and a predicate. That's the two parts of a sentence, all right? A verb starts the predicate, but those are the two parts of the sentence. And that's how we know we have a sentence. We have a subject and we have a predicate. All right? A complete sentence has two parts, a subject and a predicate. And we're going to look at sentences that are incomplete as well. So we know, what is it missing? The only two things it needs is a subject and a predicate. That's all it needs. All right? Every complete sentence has two parts, a subject and a predicate. The subject is what the sentence is about. The predicate is the part that tells something about the subject. So here we've got the subject, Rita eats breakfast every morning. That's the predicate. All right, so Rita, did I do this? I must have done that. There we go. Draw a line to separate the subject from the predicate. This is a way that we start to diagram a sentence. We diagram a sentence by first identifying the complete subject and the complete predicate, and we divide it with the line that we see right here. Well, that's not what I want to do. That we see right here. All right? So that's what I want you to do. And then highlight, instead of underlining, highlight the subject in green and highlight the predicate in yellow. All right? So that's what I would like you to do. So let's take a look at these. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put this line where it belongs to divide this sentence now. Ben likes to draw pictures of dolphins. Ben likes to draw pictures of dolphins. I see two actions there. I see draw. Draw is an action, but it's not what Ben's doing. Ben's liking. So likes is the action verb there. Ben likes. So there we've got a line between the two. And now let's go ahead and highlight the subject of the sentence, which is Ben, and then the predicate of the sentence, likes to draw pictures of dolphins. So what we're looking at again is the complete subject, which is just Ben, and then the complete predicate, which starts at the verb. Let's take a look at the next sentence. And what we want to do again is we want to put a line where we see the verb and separate the verb, put it before the verb, which should be after the subject. The children played in the mud. The children played in the mud. Well, there's an action there. We can see the action. Hey, did that happen in the present tense, in the past tense, or the future tense? The children played in the mud. Is it happening right now? Is it happening in the past? Or is it going to happen in the future? That's the past, isn't it? The children played in the mud. I don't know when they did, but they played in the past. They played it in the past. All right, let's stick with the topic though. So green for the subject, the complete subject, the children, and yellow for the complete predicate, played in the mud. Let's go and do one more on this page. Jesse's dad is painting the garage door. Jesse's dad is painting the garage door. Where's the verb? Do you know where the verb is there? Where's the verb? Do you see what kind of verb it is? There's a helping verb there. It's a linking verb, is. But actually it's helping. There is a helping verb. We also call that, it's a great big word, auxiliary verb. Auxiliary or helping verb. The action there is painting, right? Painting. But we're telling, when is Jesse painting? Right now. Is painting it right now in the present. So that helper is telling us when Jesse is doing it. So is painting is the verb, with is being a helping verb. Let's Identify that as a helping verb. Is the helping verb, and painting is the action. So I'm going to actually underline that word painting. So is the helping, painting is the verb, right? Because we have to identify the verb in order for us to identify the complete predicate. And the complete predicate here is painting the garage door. Who's doing the action? Is it Jesse? No, it's Jesse's dad is doing the action. Very, very good. Excellent job on that. Here's a few more for you to do on your own. I built a sandcastle at the beach. I built a sandcastle at the beach. The bicycle needs new tires. Where's the subject of that sentence? Where's the subject doing the action? It could be a person, a place, or a thing, right? Where's the subject? The complete subject is the bicycle. I just helped you out with that one. We had a picnic in the park. We had a picnic in the park. My favorite color is orange. My favorite color is orange. Mike and George went bowling. Mike and George went bowling. Remember, we're just looking for the complete subject. Who's doing the action? And we're looking for the complete predicate. What's the action? Right? Mike and George went bowling. Notice that this sentence also has a helper. Went. That shows when it happened was in the past. It's not happening now. It happened in the past. The action is bowling. Went is the helping verb. Ming bought a new pair of sneakers. Ming bought a new pair of sneakers. Two cats chased each other across the street. Two cats chased each other across the street. Jeff is reading a fantasy book. Jeff is reading a fantasy book. I'm so happy with this because it really did help us learn and give us some great examples of sentences that have helping verbs in them. And it shows that those helping verbs can tell us when the action is happening. Is it happening now? Is happening now? Was happening in the past? Is going to happen in the future? Right? That gave us some really great examples of how our sentence, our verbs can change meaning with a helping verb. We call those auxiliary verbs. Let's take a look at the next page, which is doing the same kind of exercises for you. All right? Subject and predicate. So the same thing. Draw one line under the subject and two lines under the predicate in each sentence. And so let's get another one of these divider lines here where that that's it, what I wanted. I have to move that down. Ooh, there we go. What's that? All right, so same thing here. We want to also draw the line. My family went to the zoo. When did that action happen? When did that action happen? My family went to the zoo. And you can do the underline if you want to. So that you've got the complete subject underline only. And then the complete predicate underlined as well. If you want to do it with an underline, you can. To tell the difference, we have two underlines for the complete predicate, right? So there, my family went to the zoo. The weather was hot. What was hot? The weather was hot. I saw the albino crocodile. Where's the action? I saw the albino crocodile. Woo! That sun is right in my eyes. Right there in my eyes. There we go. Need a little umbrella right there is what I need. I'm trying to think if I have something that would do that, would do the trick. If I had a tree, it would do the trick. The elephant squirted water with their trunks. The elephants squirted water with their trunks. We walked through the bird exhibit. We walked through the bird exhibit. The flowers smell nice. The flowers smell nice. Let's take a look at that sentence for just a second. So we're going to do the same things that we've been doing. We're going to divide that sentence between the complete predicate, the complete subject, and the complete predicate. We'll put the underlines just like we see the flowers. Smell nice. How come that other one didn't go like I wanted it to? The flowers smell nice. Now, smell nice, is that a thing or is that a description? Smell nice. Is that a thing or is that a description? That describes the flowers, doesn't it? It describes the flowers. How do the flowers smell? They smell nice. It describes the flowers. When we describe things, we are using adjectives. When we describe things, we're using adjectives. Now, we talked about that on day 58. I'm going to remind you of that, and we're going to talk about it the next time. Probably, maybe the next time, we're going to give a good definition. But all I'm trying to do is to start getting you to think about these parts of sentences in different ways. We have broken the sentences into two main parts, but there are many words in each one of those parts. And we want to know what those words are doing there. Right? What are they doing for that sentence? That helps us with our grammar. It helps us with our phonics, and it helps us with our grammar as well. Mostly our grammar right now. Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted. The mail carrier delivers the mail. The mail carrier delivers the mail. What kind of carrier? A mail carrier. That describes the carrier, doesn't it? A mail carrier. What is the carrier doing? Delivering the mail. That's a thing. That's an object, isn't it? That's an object. A thing. The mail is a thing. So sometimes we have sentences that describe, like smells nice. Other times we have sentences that are things. The mail. All right? All right? Jimmy won the marathon race. Jimmy won the marathon race. Can you see all of that? There we go. Tina, I don't have my glasses on. Tina and I are going to the library. Tina and I are going to the library. A dog barked at the squirrel. The dog barked at the squirrel. Okay, all right. So let's move on and see what we have next. These are predicative adjectives. So we're doing the same thing, but let's just take a look at this. This helps us when I was talking about describing. A predicative adjective is an adjective that modifies the subject of a sentence. Predicative adjectives are always linked to the subject by a linking verb. So here we're looking at a linking verb. It links the second half, the predicative adjective, to the subject. All right? It's not the same as linking verbs that are like the become, appear, is, our, it is, our, was, were. What this is it's linking the second part of the sentence to the first part. The apple is red. Apple is the noun. Red is the predicative adjective. And is the linking verb. John felt tired after the game. Oh, Joshua. Joshua felt tired after the game. Joshua is the noun. Tired is the predicative adjective. And felt is the linking verb. Circle the predicative adjective in each sentence. So, the vegetable lasagna smells delicious. What's the predicative adjective? Remember, there's a linking verb, so it's not the linking verb, right? It's not the linking verb. So it is the word that describes the vegetable that's in the complete predicate. It's the word that describes the vegetable that is in the complete predicate. The complete predicate is smells delicious. The predicative adjective is in the complete predicate, and it describes the subject. That's delicious. Let's take a look at what's the subject of the sentence. The subject of the sentence is lasagna. The complete subject of the sentence is that vegetable lasagna is the complete subject of the sentence. So here we've got the predicate. The complete predicate smells delicious. The linking verb that links the lasagna to the adjective is smells, right? So here is our linking verb. I'm going to underline our linking verb. Couldn't grab that for some reason. Well, because I wasn't clicking on it. There's our linking verb, smells. How does it smell? Does it stink? Does it smell like roses? No. How does it smell? It smells delicious. Delicious describes the lasagna. Smells links delicious to the subject. Let's try the next one. The breeze feels nice. The breeze feels nice. We've got our complete subject. Well, let's identify the verb first. Where's the verb? The verb is the linking verb feels, right? It's linking what? What is the linking verb feels? It's linking the breeze with how does it feel? It feels nice. Now, when we're learning all of this, what we're learning is how to better describe or communicate whatever we want to say, right? When I am talking about the breeze, I need a description, right? Nice describes it, but maybe cool describes it, or maybe refreshing describes it, right? Or maybe a welcome, maybe it's welcomed, right? The breeze was welcomed. All of those can describe the breeze, right? And so sometimes when we're thinking about communicating, we might have to think, I have to describe that. I have to describe it. That's an adjective. That's an adjective. I have to describe it. It's an adjective, a predicative adjective, just like what we said here. It's an adjective. An adjective describes. It says it modifies the subject of the sentence. How does it modify it? It describes the subject. That's how it does. It modifies it by saying it's not a hot breeze. It's a nice breeze. All right. Tomatoes become dry when left out in the sun. Let's take a look at, first of all, what is the verb? Where's the verb? Because it's a linking verb. Becomes. Becomes. What becomes? Or become. What become? We have to listen to the subject to determine the verb tense and the verb spelling, right? So there I said becomes. It's not becomes because tomato is plural. It's tomatoes, right? Oops, that's not supposed to be there. So what's our subject? Our subject is tomatoes. Tomatoes. What happens to tomatoes? They become what? They become what? How did I get that in there? Oh, I must have put that in there. Must have typed something without knowing it. So they become what? They become dry. Dry describes the tomatoes when they're left out in the sun. Dry describes the tomatoes when they're left out in the sun. Where are we? Our time is up. Great job. Just a really, really great job on this. Let's look at the next page. I'll show you the rest of the sentences. The music is loud. Jeff's fingers turn blue in the cold weather. The pillow looks fluffy. Your backpack appears heavy. Mary's sweater turned pink in the wash. My dog is hungry. The apple tasted how? Tart. Let's take a look at the next two exercises. Now we're going to look at present tense verbs. And so the next 2 pages have exercises that I'm showing you to determine the present tense verb. If you want to jump ahead, here are those 2 pages that talk about simple tense, simple present tense verbs. There's page number 1, page number 2, that you can do these exercises. We are all set for today. Thank you for joining me here in the Early Bird Classroom. We got something done today. You know what predicative adjectives are. What? What? You're only in 3rd grade and you know what predicative adjectives are? Can't even believe it. This is Dr. Annette Feravich. Thank you for joining me here in the Early Bird Classroom. Why? Because I'm the teacher and I've got